Hey guys, what's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Ooze here, back again with another Isaac Bergman, and this time we're going to go with a Blue Baby run. If you haven't paid attention, I'm currently on a 5 streak just doing random characters. But I'm not going to do any repeats, and this time we're going to go with Blue Baby because I am terrible or something. I need to fiddle with something. Give me a moment. I need to carefully ensure my microphone can be moved without sparking a horrendous beepity boop bop noise. Anyway, there's the seed. Oops. Okay, sorry about that, but we're okay now. We Gucci, let's go. So, Blue Baby sucks ass and I hate him, but whatever. He's better than the Lost by an incredible margin. Blue Baby, like if you're comparing the two, alright, Celtic Cross, sure. If you're gonna compare the two, Blue Baby and the Lost, it's like, they both suck, but the Lost sucks way more. And it's because there's really, I don't know, I feel like getting hit's part of the game, which is why I hate the Lost so much. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, everybody, it's not like I'm saying an unpopular opinion. Everybody pretty much hates the Lost unanimously. And that's, a lot of people, it comes from a very emotional perspective where they just fucking hate them, you know? Because it's like, oh, it took me 7 kajillion hours with a negative 7,800 streak to beat the Lost. It sucked. But I'm approaching it from like a, if you consider, because I had a talk about my whole opinion on like health systems in games, and that just having it be a binary, you're either alive or dead, is a very boring thing, and just generally lazy game design. And Isaac is a great game because it actually it doesn't have the lazy binary health system, right? Did I just get Curse the Maze into the same room? I believe I did. But it's not binary, right? It's not you're either alive or you're dead. Like at the base level, yes, but you can do things with your health, right? It doesn't solely exist in this on-off switch. But the Lost is like, fuck that shit. You know, let's just remove a gameplay element entirely. I don't know, it sucks. He sucks. He's not fun. And there's just less gameplay. That's why I hate the Lost. But game design is a really hard thing to nail, you know? Because at the end of the day, right, you can do things that are objectively good game design and people can still dislike your game. That's called personal preference, and that's the most difficult thing about doing a, you know, creating some variety of consumed media in any way, whether it be, you know, a song, a game, a movie, a book, a video on YouTube, you know, so many things that everybody just has preference, right? And like, anything else on this one? Nah, okay. People have personal preference, right? And that's the hardest thing to understand. You can do things incredibly well, but at the end of the day, people are still people, and whether they like or dislike your content is up to them, right? But I like to try to approach things from an objective standpoint in general, but especially when it comes to, oh yes, especially when it comes to video games. So here's the sweet thing about prayer card. There is no way for us to even potentially lose these Eternal Hearts, and if we ever are able to use the prayer card 3 times on the floor, it'll give us 2 total Spirit Hearts. This is sweet. It's obviously not quite as good as Book of Revelations. It's similar. It's very similar. on average, you're going to be getting, you know, in the early game, you're going to be getting 1 heart per floor. That's it. But as the game progresses, and especially if you get any exile floors, then Book of Revelations, of course, is better. But for the most part, they're incredibly similar. So I'm very happy to get prayer card as Blue Baby here. It's so weird because it's one of those items that if I'm doing a regular ass character run, let's say a regular character run without a D6, I'm probably not gonna be like, oh yeah, prayer card. I'm probably gonna be like, all right, prayer card. All right, see you later. I'll stick with my my lemon mishap. Thank you very much. Which is such a, it's a weird dynamic. I love it though, honestly. I love all of the little intricacies that exist in the Binding of Isaac that allow the same exact item in very similar circumstances just be wildly different based on very tiny, subtle differences in characters. Such as, you know, the whole Blue Baby not actually having heart containers thing. He can, no matter what you do as Blue Baby, the only way to get heart containers is to no longer be Blue Baby, such as, you know, getting resurrected as Dark Judas or whatever. That's a real good one, but I don't think it's worth it, unfortunately. That really hurts, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I'm going to go to the curse room, though. I do have an excess of hearts right now, which is quite nice. Curse room is definitely on the table. Can't wait for the curse room to just be, you know, 1 red chest troll bombs. Ha! Hey! Well, again, I don't think it's worth it to take it. But I think it's absolutely worthwhile to trade 1 spirit heart to essentially tag a guppy item onto my character. To place my dead cat's head upon my head, and then I am become death, destroyer of worlds. I think that's how it works. That sounds about right. I'm not certain on the specifics, but I believe that is how it operates. It's pretty fucked up if you think about it. And I've said it before, and actually, somebody was like, hey, I didn't know that Isaac put his dead cat's body parts on himself. Unfortunately, I don't think undefined is the item. But so okay, here's the way it boils down, boils out, boil, Susan Boyle. This is the way it works, right? You are delving through a basement, right? Or at least in your coked out night terror of your existence, you are delving through this horrific basement filled with monsters, right? And upon this journey, you, first of all, you have incredibly horrible moral confusion based on your religious upbringing and the way that you exist, right? You being Isaac. And so this entire thing is just like a journey, you know? It's a moral journey for Isaac, right? That's it. That's the game. It's not a literal thing that's currently happening. You're not literally delving through a basement when your mom literally wants to kill you with a knife, and you don't literally exist as, you know, 11 different people, right? A lot of it is supposed to be like metaphors and shit, which is awesome. I don't enjoy this, by the way. This is not a thing I enjoy even remotely. So a lot of this is like metaphorical bullshit, right? However, one thing that we know isn't metaphorical bullshit is the fact that your cat's fucking dead, right? That's a thing. We have proof of this in the ending, because the endings are well, they can be metaphorical, but the endings include a lot of actual things, right? A lot of real stuff, substance, evidence, right? Including the whole you climb in your toy chest and fucking die, right? You get locked in and die. That's a very, again, there might be metaphorical bullshit involved in that, but the whole idea of that being your room and your toy chest, and it's all like drawings and your imagination, which is revealed via the intro, of course. Growth hormones is awesome. So we know all this shit that's true, and in the ending, the Mega Satan ending. Okay, there should be enough rooms, hopefully. In the Mega Satan ending, you have this metaphorical bullshit type situation where you're attempting to, you know, in this metaphorical bullshit situation, you're attempting to defeat your demon, your inner demons, right? By literally visually alternating between your understood self, I guess, the self that we know about as players, your understood self, and then this demonic self that you're having all these things about. This is the moral dilemma. You like think you're a sinner, right? All these things that you've been taught through your Bible teaching is like, you're a sinner, and you feel very conflicted about this because you respect your religion as your upbringing, but at the same time your religion, nice, theoretically your religion would not approve of you, right? And that's why you're having this freak out moment, and then you're projecting, again, you being Isaac, just want to make sure that's abundantly clear, but you're projecting the whole Abraham story upon your own life, which is why you think your mom is trying to murder you. And that's where that shit comes in. And in the ending where you're fighting your inner demons, right, or inner singular demon, I suppose. Triple tears up is awesome. In that ending, you can see in the toy chest with you the leg of a cat. Just like the paw, right? And you'd be like, oh, that seems harmless enough. Maybe your cat's hanging out in there with you. Well, I mean, the fact is, in this horrible, coked out nightmare hellscape that you call your basement, you find body parts of your cat, right? Including one which straight says your cat's dead, right? You literally collect dead cat. Guppy, right? That's it. And so, yeah, basically, I imagine somewhere in this nightmarish hellscape, imaginative, fucked up journey of self-realization, I suppose, you kind of project the whole, like, your cat being dead and the depression that caused you into this, you inject that into this thing, and your cat is, like, your one of the few things that you, I guess, like? I don't know. There's a chance that I'm making up that last little bit, but considering it's all just theories and shit, anyway, you know, whatever. You get some creative liberties, but because Guppy as an item combination is generally good, I imagine that fits in somewhere to this whole, this plot, if you will. Also, the battery is fucking sick, by the way, and I'm loving this. This is great. This is phenomenal. No longer phenomenal. It's ruined. Ah, fuck. I knew he'd hit me. All right. So yeah, basically you're running around in your basement and you're slapping your own cat's body parts onto you, and then you're like, I'm Guppy, because you can't handle the loss of your cat or something. The entire story is incredibly depressing. That's the entire point. You're peeking into the mind of an incredibly depressed child who has moral dilemmas. Most of which I'm assuming are based off of Edmund's own experiences. He has said multiple times he had a pretty fucked up upbringing. Oh, this is the most incredible thing that's ever happened. So I imagine a good amount of the Isaac stuff is kind of a projection of Edmund's own experiences, which is fucked up. Again, yeah, but I mean, whose life isn't a little bit fucked up, you know? There should be another children's book. Instead of everybody poops, it should be everybody's a little fucked up. I think that'd be a great one. Top seller. Hire me. No, but seriously, I feel like that would actually be a pretty well-selling book. Not necessarily to the target demographic, of course, of children, but you know, the book Go the Fuck to Sleep is also not targeted at children, although having the appearance of a children's book. So, you know. It's also a great book. I don't know if you've ever read Go the Fuck to Sleep, but it's incredible. And if you haven't read it, I would recommend letting Samuel Jackson read it to you. My boy Sammy J. Just look it up on YouTube. Go the fuck to sleep, Sammy J. I'm sure if you search that, you'd find it. Even though I don't think anybody actually calls him Sammy J. I do, because I'm weird, but I don't think anybody else does. I think that's just a me thing. Do I take Sacrificial Dagger? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think it's worth the 3... Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off, dude. Thank God Celtic Cross procced. Actually using proc correctly. You're welcome. Yeah, if you haven't read it, I'd recommend just YouTubing Sammy J reads Go the Fuck to Sleep and checking that out, because it's real good. I've actually read the actual book before I found the YouTube video. It was, I mean, you know, it's great. It's awesome. Alright, so the cool thing about having the battery in this circumstance is that it actually allows me to essentially turn my, whatever this fucking item that I'm holding is. I keep forgetting the name of it. Fucking book of something. Book of not that great. Book of highly mediocre. I can at least make it pretty much all upside with the battery, because I can pace it, right? If I notice, right, like I can just hold one full charge back at all times. So in case, in this circumstance, if I get 3 more rooms of charge, which it appears as if that will happen, then I can pop it again, and then I can pop it again before leaving the floor, right? So I can ensure that I get the extra full Spirit Heart out of it. Alright, Brother Bobby's not bad. Also, I'm not entirely sure how the familiars work into the whole fucked up, super dark storyline. I do know somebody had a theory on Maggie, and it was just a total theory on the game itself, not just Maggie, but it included Maggie. And Edmund on Twitter said that this is probably the closest thing yet, you know. And in fairness, this is Edmund, and he has said that so far about pretty much every theory of Binding of Isaac so far that has gained any traction. So, hard to say if he's being completely genuine, or even if the story has a complete, definite answer. But, regardless, he did say it is very accurate, that theory. And the theory... In that theory, the thing about Maggie was that, oh, how interesting. There was a bit about how, your dad left you, right? Because there's no dad in the story. Dad's key is the only reference to you even having a father, which is actually very interesting. It could bring up a few things, right? One of which I think it most likely is the whole dad's key thing is literally just a name of an item based on the idea of, you know, everybody's dad has a key that opens everything. I think that's where it's from, but it's not necessarily the case. In fact, there is a cool idea that I've had bouncing around my brain, my brainal cavity, about how dad's key mayhaps be a sort of like, I don't know, it's almost like you, your dad who left your family or whatever still has a key to the house or something like that. And I don't know, something to that effect. You know, I haven't fully fleshed it out as an idea. It's, again, just an idea that's been bouncing around in my brainal cavity. But I like it. I think it's a cool one. So, you know, your dad left, and your mom is crazy, presumably. And the theory involves the idea that your mom wanted a daughter instead of a son, which also can back up the idea that maybe, you know, your mom is trying to kill you. She doesn't like you. She doesn't want you to exist. Would be backed up by the idea that your mom wanted a daughter, right? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you, you dumb enemy. Damn it. Shit, damn it, Cox. So that would be backed up by that idea. And even more so, after your dad left and your mom went completely over the deep end, she, like, you know, wanted a daughter so bad that she started fucking dressing you up all girly-like, and that's where Maggie comes from. And the thing is, maybe you kind of like it. Maybe you kind of like being Maggie, and that's also pretty frowned upon by your religion, which would support the idea that this is all a self-brought-on, very bizarre, dark revelation about you as a person, you know, self-discovery sort of shit. And you being conflicted because of the religious teachings. So yeah, Isaac's story is pretty fucked up, is basically what I'm trying to say. Also, cool discovery. I'm gonna test it right now, and I'm gonna promise you it won't work. Yeah. Okay, cool discovery. I also touched my mic cord. I'm checking right now if I'm getting bleep bloops. It looks alright. It looks okay. I'm gonna hope it's alright. Cool discovery recently. So, funny enough, you know how people were able to data mine how to unlock the Lost? And don't give me the bullshit of like, oh, we were about to solve it. Listen, I wasn't around when the discovery, I wasn't playing Binding of Isaac Rebirth when the discovery of the Lost stuff happened. I wasn't. That's just straight up truth. But the amount of information I've looked into on the subject, like I've looked into a lot of info on the subject. Fuck. And every single place I look are people saying this whole like, no, we were about to discover it. The data mining only sped us up like, I don't know, 2 days or something. There's a lot of people saying that. And then a lot of people pointing out the actual truth of the matter, which was to say it was data mined on day one. Literally just pulled out of the code on day fucking 1. And the actual discovery of how to unlock the Lost took a couple more days in the data mining itself. But yeah, there was no way that it was barely ahead. The data mining was barely ahead of the actual trial and error discovery of the Lost that was intended. Anyway, back to my initial thing. So people data mined the Lost, and it's bizarre to me that that was data mined so quickly, and then this thing has taken 11 months to find, and it wasn't data mined. it's the whole, it's a really cool thing. Again, very recently discovered, like a couple days ago, where if you donate to the donation machine, you have a chance of getting a luck up. And it's so fresh that the numbers haven't even fully been sorted out. It hasn't been fully understood yet. We just know that donating coins can give you luck up. That's it, right? That's all we understand so far, which is crazy to me. Fuck, I forgot that that worked that way. Ah, shit, I fucked up. It's not the end of the world, but I did fuck up. Paralysis sucks. Puberty sucks, I guess. So the top theories of people just doing this by repetition, trial and error bullshit, right? Some people using like cheat engine and shit just to look at the actual numbers and such. Basically, people have more or less concluded that in increments of 5 cents donated, you have a chance of getting a luck upgrade. It has nothing to do with the actual specifics of jamming the machine, although that was proposed as a potential solution very early on after the discovery. But that's not, that holds no water, I suppose. So it's basically, yeah, increments of 5, chance. That's about it. That's all we understand right now. When it comes down to actual specific numbers, I'm gonna say fuck that item. Specific numbers, I believe, so somebody said, God, what was it? God, what was it? It's like a, I don't know, it boils down to like, I think it was around a 1 in 20 is what the person got experimentally. Which, it's not bad. I mean, a 1 in 20 shot per 5 cents donated, if that is truly what it is, which is what the evidence is currently pointing to. If that is truly what it is, that's not bad. And it'd be interesting if that's actually the case, because that essentially means that the idea is that it's 1 out of 100, I guess. You obviously, because it's in increments of 5, that's not exactly how it works, but that's the idea, right? That's kind of what the numbers point to, which is interesting. So I don't know. It's cool shit though, and I promise you, I will fucking donate a lot more. I guarantee it, because I want them sweet luck upgrades, man. People really underestimate how good luck is as a stat in this game, because it's real good. Including, so the main things that luck does that people will point to is that it increases the likelihood of an on-shot effect happening. So, for example, let's say common cold. Now, as a similar example, I would probably have used Mulligan, but thank you for correcting me. I do remember a long time ago, I remember learning that Mulligan was not affected by luck. And then I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then for some reason I just forgot that info. And in the last run that I had Mulligan and I commented on luck, I was like, yeah, it increases the likelihood of spawning flies or something. Which is just demonstrably false. I believe it's always a 1 in 6. I'm also really bothered by the frame rate that I'm getting. I don't know what the fuck has been going on with my game recently. I'm gonna do some investigative work regarding the performance of my video game in the near future, because I don't know why in the fuck it's just shitting the bed so much. I fucking hate you, Blast Assist. I really do. You're my least favorite boss. That's not true, but I hate you. You're definitely not my least favorite. You ain't no Haunt or Bloat, but you're pretty rough. The worst thing is, I love the idea of Blast Assist. I actually really like the execution of Blast Assist. Blast Assist. But the one thing that pisses me off to no end about Blast Assist is the fucking biggest one with its goddamn leap. That's it. That's it. That is the entire story of why I hate Blast Assist. Can I actually damage this? Is it like the white one? Okay, I can damage it. I always forget if you can damage both the white and the black champions. Well, I know for a fact you can't attack the white ones until the room is cleared, but apparently you can hit the black ones. Is that social commentary, huh? Is that what that is, Edmund? You sneaky son of a bitch, thought I wouldn't see that? It's a joke, by the way, for any of you unaware. I'm making a joke. That's what those are. Why is my frame rate so bad on the fucking womb? I don't understand. It's almost explicitly the womb now. Like, I had a perfectly reasonable frame rate the entire time that I was recording this episode, up until I hit the womb. And then it just shit the bed. It's really frustrating. Frustrating. Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk about, by the way, what a great segue. But there was a thing I wanted to talk about, right, where I found this new YouTube channel. Not new as in he's new or anything like that, but I didn't know about it before. And holy shit, I love it. It's a food channel. I'm forgetting the name of it. I will do the research as soon as I'm done with the episode, but before I actually end it. I will double check on what the channel is. But it's a food channel. It's about food. And it's so great because, okay, so basically what happens is the dude gives you recipes, which he has on his blog, and it's great. But the best thing about it is that not only that, but he has the videos themselves, which have not, you know, they don't have the specific recipes. I think that might be in the description. I haven't really paid attention because I haven't wanted to make any of the things yet. But anyway, he shares with you how to make them in these videos. And the way he does it is he just records the entire process from various angles depending on the thing. And then after the fact, he then records commentary over it, describing the process and also adding his own personal flair, which kills me. It's so fucking funny to me. I don't actually, like, there was one he did on an English muffin, right? A recipe for an English muffin, which is great because those things are tasty as fuck. And so, at the end of it, and this is a very recent video, like, it was 2 days old when I watched it, which was, I believe, yesterday. And so in the video, he's like, we're gonna open up this English muffin like you're supposed to open up any English muffin. Any English muffin. And that's with a fork. Not a knife, because we're not crazy people. And then you're like, hey, I use a knife to open an English muffin and I'm not crazy. Yes, you are. You just don't know it yet. That's the problem with crazy people. I just love it. It's just so, like, matter of fact, kind of bland, but in a really good way, kind of humor. I don't know. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love everything about it. I love the food because it looks incredibly delicious, and I love to torture myself by watching people make and eat food. It's like my favorite pastime. I don't know why. I've got a problem though. Maybe that's why Food Network is so successful. I'm just the target demographic of Food Network. But see, that's the thing. I've discovered. I'm peeked behind the curtain. And that's why I avoid the Food Network, is because I understand I'm the target demographic and that it's a weird thing, right? So that's why I avoid watching Food Network. Although I still do it quite often because I can't help myself. I'm a monster. But yeah, I don't know. It's good shit or bad shit. Alright, what am I gonna do here? I can leave this floor, I suppose, with full health and a full charged thing. So let's do it. I don't have to pick up that other one, it doesn't matter. As long as I don't walk over spikes on the way to the boss at this point, we're alright. And I don't believe there are spikes along the way, so should be good. But yeah, so I've watched like, fuck, I don't even know how many videos at this point. Probably like 100. I've watched like 100 of these videos from this guy. And I love every single one. And I discovered him yesterday. Fuck! Yeah. Alright, sweet, I used it before the room actually ended. So I will leave the actual plug. I mean, you probably know about it. The channel has like 1 million subs or something, like 1.2 million subs, I think. So you probably know about him. But in case you don't, I'll leave the plug. Well, I'll give you the plug before the episode ends. I'm dying. I'm not actually dying. It's weird. I've made it such a habit whenever I cough, like twice, to say, I'm dying, right? Like that's just a thing I do. Because I see it as a I don't know, in some sense, comedy, right? It's comedic in some sense. Obviously, dying is not comedic. Well, it can be. All right, okay, ignore what I just said. But, you know, dying innately isn't comedy. But it's just, I don't know, it's just this weird little thing in the back of my brain that just happens every time that I cough. I just like, oh, I should say that I'm dying. That'd be hilarious. But I do it, and like, as I've begun streaming and doing YouTube and shit, I'm realizing more and more that saying I'm dying isn't a great thing to do. YouTube, it's a bit more excusable because, you know, I posted the video, so clearly I didn't die. But in streaming, it's like, if I just, out of the blue, have like a whooping cough and say, I'm dying, people are gonna be like, oh shit, call 911, this guy's fucking dying. Does anybody know where he lives? And that's, I mean, that's a great thing, because that actually was an awesome thing that happened within the Dota 2 community. Which, like, you know, it was phenomenal. Basically what happened, SNAZ and his girlfriend, Sajdeen, so I think Sajdeen, she was, I mean, everybody apparently calls her Nikki or something, because that's her name. Her alias is Sajdeen. Anyway, she was streaming, and they got, like, people broke into their house while she was streaming, right? Which is terrifying. And what ended up happening was, the people watching her stream, they tried to, you know, contact somebody who knew where SNAZ lived. And so they, like, contacted Cyborg Matt, who is a dude, he's just a pretty genuinely nice dude, who pretty much everything he does is just for the betterment of the Dota 2 community. People like to make fun of him and shit, and, like, you know, because he's overweight and yada yada yada. Basically internet stuff. But he's a really genuinely awesome dude. And so people contacted him first because they're like, we don't know who the fuck who to call, but Cyborg Matt's awesome, so let's try him. And then he was like, okay, I don't actually know SNAZ's address, but I know Neil. I can contact DC Neil, Dota Cinema Neil, who does, in fact, know where SNAZ lives. So Cyborg Matt contacts Neil. Neil contacts the authorities, saying, you know, hey, there's a breaking and entering at this address. Get the fuck out there. And it's, you know, a bit more important as well because they live, well, at the time they lived in buttfuck nowhere, Arizona. So it was difficult, you know, basically they needed the sort of outside voice to at least get there on time. And by the time the police got there, they were actually trying to get people like SNAZ and Sajdeen out of the house. They were trying to, like, bring them somewhere or something. It turned from, like, robbery into fucking hostage situation, right? But then the police got there, the dudes got fucking scared, And they basically booked it. They tried running, and eventually they got caught, and everything ended up awesome. But like, that's my fear, is that a similar situation will happen. I'll be the cause of a similar situation where I'm like, I'm dying, and then the, you know, ambulance fucking arrives at my house. The people jump out, use a battering ram on the door, sprint around the house yelling my name or something, and then fucking get down here and I'm like, what? I'm streaming. Just like, huh? No, I'm not dying. I'm fine. Obviously that's not gonna happen. It's just a complete exaggeration of the actual truth. But you know, fuck, man. I feel like I am required to clarify that I'm not actually dying if I say I'm dying. Because I don't want it to get to a point where I'm like, I'm dying, and then people are like, haha, it's a funny joke. And then when it actually happens, you know, I've conditioned these people to be like, ah, funny joke, ah, like seals, you know, clapping their stupid hands. And then, you know, I'm actually like having a heart attack on stream. And I'm like, I'm dying, call an ambulance. And then people are like, ha ha ha. And then I'm like actually dead, you know, and then I actually die. And I don't want that. I don't want that. It's not a thing I want. Although hopefully I never have a heart attack. Although let's be realistic here. I have shoved enough shit into my body over the course of my 21 years of life to probably murder an entire town of people. So, you know, maybe I'll probably, I don't know. I joked, it was more of like a morbid type joke, but I have joked in the past about how, you know, age 30, like I'll die at like age 32 from a horrific heart attack, and that'll be the end of me or whatever. And that'll be, of course, 2 years after I just explode with body mass because my metabolism will have finally caught up to me, I guess. Is that the way to put that? I have a fucked up metabolism. And the way that I exist as thin as I am is absolutely biological. I am assuming. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist, but however, I don't think it takes a nutritionist to be like, yo, you shouldn't be 135 pounds with the shit that you stick in your body. You know, I don't think it takes some kind of scientist to tell me that. I think I can figure that one out just fine. Although I have been eating and drinking healthier over the past couple of years of my life. I've taken steps to avoid this whole dying at age 32 to a horrendous heart attack. I've taken steps. They're baby steps, but that's because it's very hard to quit anything cold turkey, let alone eating habits. So, you know, that's why I'm getting super into actually like learning recipes and shit, cooking for myself and shit. Because I understand that no matter what you do, even if you go to like restaurants where food is made fresh and whatever, they're gonna have, there's gonna be like a lot of negative health effects in any sort of food place that you go to. It's just kind of, you know, the nature of the beast. There are gonna be places that are an exception to this rule, but even if you go to a place that's the food is made fresh, they're gonna have like way too much salt or whatever, right? There's gonna be negatives. It's not just like, oh, it's fresh, so that means it's as if I made it at home. That's not entirely true. Unless your homemade food happens to include 15 times the the suggested daily dose of sodium, as well as various other things like lard and shit. So, you know, no matter where you go, you're gonna get stuff that's not gonna be as healthy as if you just made it yourself and were being health conscious in the making of it. So, started to work on that. And don't assume that this is me preaching or anything. Listen, I get McDonald's frequently enough, alright? I'm not the I'm not a beacon of health morality, but I understand the consequences of eating the way I have in the past, and I'm trying to remedy them. Or at the very least, change my ways to not continue these negatives. I don't know how much health I have, by the way. I'm like terrified that I have 1 health right now, but I'm pretty sure I have more. Like a lot more. Okay, let me find this right now. Ah! It's the Joe Rogan experience. Don't worry about that. I'm doing some catching up. Let's see. How would I find it? I might find it on my Twitter easier. Give me a second. I'll find it. I promise. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. You know, if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to leave a like and do all that shit. I love you guys. And here we go. Food Wishes is the name of the channel. Go check out Food Wishes. The dude is awesome, and I love it. So check him out. And again, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and do all that sweet shit. And I will see you guys in the next episode, where hopefully I'll have figured out this boogeyman of a something that's within my machine. The ghost in the machine, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out, hopefully. Probably won't, but we'll see. Bye!